Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled at the base of a misty mountain, there was a hidden garden known only to a few. This was not just any garden, it was a clockwork garden, where every flower and tree was a marvel of intricate gears and delicate mechanisms. The garden was said to be the creation of a brilliant inventor who had vanished many years ago, leaving behind only whispered legends. In this village lived a young girl named Amelia. Amelia was known for her inquisitive mind and a passion for fixing things. She often spent her time tinkering with old machines and clocks, dreaming of finding the clockwork garden and uncovering its secrets. One autumn morning, Amelia was exploring the village's attic when she stumbled upon a dusty, old journal. Its cover was embossed with golden gears and clock faces. Flipping through the pages, she discovered detailed sketches of the clockwork garden and a map leading to it. Excitedly, Amelia realized that this was her chance to discover the garden and learn its mysteries. Armed with the journal and the map, Amelia set out on her journey. She followed the map through the lush forest, over babbling brooks, and up winding paths until she reached a hidden gate covered in vines. The gate was adorned with intricate clockwork designs in a large, ornate keyhole. Amelia took a deep breath and examined the journal. There, she found a small, golden key tucked into a special compartment. The key fit perfectly into the gate's keyhole. With a turn, the gate creaked open, revealing the clockwork garden in all its splendor. The garden was a marvel of precision and beauty. Flowers with petals like tiny clock faces bloomed in radiant colors, and trees with twisting branches moved like the hands of a giant clock. Gentle humming filled the air as gears turned and springs clicked in harmonious rhythm. In the center of the garden stood a grand clock tower, its face shimmering with a magical light. Amelia was mesmerized by the sight and began exploring the garden, her eyes wide with wonder. She noticed that each plant seemed to be synchronized with the grand clock tower, and the whole garden operated like a perfectly tuned machine. As she wandered, Amelia discovered a small, rusted door at the base of the clock tower. It had a delicate gear mechanism that seemed to have been neglected for years. Using her skills, Amelia carefully cleaned and oiled the gears until they moved smoothly. With a satisfying click, the door opened, revealing a spiral staircase leading up to the tower's top. Climbing the stairs, Amelia reached the top and found a room filled with mechanical birds, their wings folded in rest. In the center of the room was an old, dusty workbench with blueprints and tools scattered across it. Amelia realized this must have been where the inventor had worked. As she examined the blueprints, she saw a drawing of a complex mechanism that seemed to control the garden's magic. It was clear that the clockwork garden had once been a place of wonder, but it had fallen into disrepair after the inventor's disappearance. Amelia knew what she had to do. She spent the next few days repairing and fine-tuning the mechanisms, using her knowledge and the blueprints as her guide. Slowly but surely, the garden began to come back to life. Flowers bloomed brighter, the trees swayed with renewed vigor, and the clock tower's face shone with a brilliant light. One evening, as Amelia put the finishing touches on her repairs, the garden's magic seemed to reach a crescendo. The mechanical birds awoke and began to sing a melodious tune, filling the garden with a beautiful symphony. Amelia felt a sense of accomplishment and joy as the garden's magic restored itself. As she was about to leave, a gentle, elderly man appeared before her. His eyes twinkled with gratitude, and he wore a suit adorned with gears and cogs. He introduced himself as the inventor, who had been in hiding, waiting for someone with the right heart and skill to restore his creation. "Thank you, Amelia," he said warmly. "You've not only restored the garden but also breathed new life into it. The magic of the garden is now yours to protect." With that, the inventor disappeared into the mist, leaving Amelia with a small, ornate key, the key to the garden's heart. She returned to her village, where she shared the story of her adventure and the garden's wonders. The clockwork garden became a place of inspiration and joy for the villagers. Amelia continued to visit, caring for the garden and ensuring its magic remained vibrant. Her story became a legend, a reminder that true magic often lies in the harmony of creativity, skill, and a kind heart. And so, the clockwork garden thrived, a beacon of wonder and enchantment, and Amelia lived happily ever after, always guided by the rhythms of the magical garden she had revived. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a secluded valley surrounded by majestic mountains, there was a small village called Silverleaf. This village was known for its serene beauty, but it had one secret, a moonlit pond hidden deep in the forest, which no villager had ever ventured to explore. The pond was said to be enchanted, glowing with an otherworldly light on nights when the moon was full. In this village lived a young boy named Finn. Finn was adventurous and loved exploring, but he was also a bit cautious. He had heard the legends about the moonlit pond from the village elders but had never dared to visit it, fearing the unknown. One evening, as the full moon began to rise over the valley, Finn's curiosity got the better of him. He decided that tonight would be the night he would uncover the secret of the moonlit pond. He packed a small satchel with essentials, a warm cloak, a lantern, some food, and his trusty map. Following the path described in the old stories, Finn entered the forest. The trees were tall and ancient, their branches forming a canopy that let only specks of moonlight through. Finn's lantern cast a soft glow, guiding his way as he ventured deeper into the woods. As he walked, he noticed that the forest seemed different than usual. The air was filled with a faint, melodic hum, and the shadows danced in rhythm with the music. Finn followed the sound, which grew louder and more enchanting as he approached the heart of the forest. Finally, he arrived at the edge of the moonlit pond. The sight before him was breathtaking. The pond's surface was like liquid silver, reflecting the moon's light in shimmering waves. Ethereal lilies floated on the water, their petals glowing softly, and a gentle mist hung above the pond, swirling like a silken veil. Finn approached the pond cautiously. As he did, the melody he had heard earlier seemed to come from the water itself. He saw a small, ornate box half buried in the sand at the water's edge. It was intricately carved with symbols of stars and moons. With trembling hands, Finn picked up the box and opened it. Inside was a delicate silver key and a note that read, "To unlock the magic, you must follow the melody of the night and listen to the whispers of the moon." Confused but intrigued, Finn held the key tightly and looked around. The melodic hum grew stronger, and he realized it was coming from the lilies on the pond. As he listened, the sound seemed to guide him to a hidden alcove behind a cluster of willow trees. In the alcove was an ancient, weathered door covered in vines. The door had a keyhole that perfectly fit the silver key. With a deep breath, Finn inserted the key and turned it. The door creaked open to reveal a hidden chamber bathed in soft moonlight. Inside the chamber was a beautiful, celestial harp, surrounded by floating orbs of light. The harp was delicate and adorned with moonstones that glowed with a gentle, soothing light. As Finn approached the harp, he felt a sense of peace and wonder. Suddenly, the harp began to play on its own, the strings moving gracefully as if guided by invisible hands. The music was enchanting, filling the chamber with a feeling of warmth and magic. Finn felt as though he was being enveloped in a dream. A soft, glowing figure appeared before him. It was the guardian of the moonlit pond, a fairy with wings like shimmering moonlight. She had a kind and serene smile. "Welcome, brave traveler," the fairy said. "You have discovered the secret of the moonlit pond. This harp holds the magic of dreams and wishes. It has been waiting for someone with a pure heart to set it free." The fairy continued, "The music of the harp can bring joy and hope to those who listen. But remember, true magic lies not only in the melody but in the intentions of the heart. Use it wisely." Finn nodded, understanding the responsibility he now carried. The fairy blessed him and the harp, and with a wave of her hand, the chamber was filled with a brilliant light. When the light faded, Finn found himself back at the pond with the harp in his hands. With great care, Finn returned to the village, carrying the celestial harp. The villagers gathered around him, eager to hear about his adventure. As he played the harp, its magical music filled the village with a sense of wonder and peace. The melodies brought comfort, joy, and inspiration to everyone who listened. From that night on, the moonlit pond and its enchanted harp became a cherished part of Silverleaf. The villagers celebrated the magic of the harp, and Finn's bravery was remembered as a testament to the power of curiosity, courage, and the magic of the heart. And so, the moonlit pond continued to glow with a soft, silver light, its secrets shared with all who believed in the magic of dreams and the beauty of the night. Once upon a time, in a mystical land far beyond the realm of ordinary maps, there was a kingdom known as Everglow. This kingdom was famous for its beauty and serenity, with lush forests, sparkling rivers, and meadows that seemed to be eternally bathed in twilight. The heart of Everglow was a majestic tree called the Twilight Tree, whose branches glowed with a soft, ethereal light as day turned to night. The Twilight Tree was said to possess ancient magic, but its secrets remained hidden to all but the wisest of sages. In the village of Lumine, near the base of the Twilight Tree, lived a curious and kind-hearted girl named Lyra. Lyra had always been fascinated by the tree and its glowing branches. Her grandmother had told her tales of its magic and the promise it held, but the true secret of the Twilight Tree remained a mystery. One evening, as twilight began to envelop the land, Lyra noticed that the light from the Twilight Tree seemed dimmer than usual. Concerned, she decided to investigate. She gathered a small satchel of supplies, including her grandmother's old lantern and a map of the kingdom, and set off towards the Twilight Tree. As she approached, the sky darkened, and the soft glow of the tree grew fainter. The once vibrant colors of the tree's leaves were now muted. Lyra felt a pang of worry but pressed on. As she reached the base of the Twilight Tree, she saw a figure sitting in the shadows, an old man with a long, silver beard and a robe that sparkled like stardust. "Welcome, Lyra," the old man said with a voice as gentle as the night breeze. "I am Aemon, the guardian of the Twilight Tree. You have come at a time of great need." Lyra was startled but quickly composed herself. "What's happened to the Twilight Tree? Why is its light fading?" Aemon sighed. "The Twilight Tree's magic is linked to the balance of our world. Its light fades because the heart of the tree, an ancient crystal hidden deep within its roots, has been stolen. Without it, the tree's power is waning. And our kingdom is in danger." Lyra's heart sank. "How can we restore the crystal and save the tree?" "The crystal is hidden in the Caves of Echoes, a place shrouded in mystery and guarded by trials," Aemon explained. "To retrieve it, you must face 3 challenges that test your courage, wisdom, and heart. Only then can you return the crystal and restore the Twilight Tree's magic." Determined to save the kingdom, Lyra agreed to undertake the quest. Aemon handed her a shimmering compass that would guide her through the trials and advised her to trust her instincts. The first trial led Lyra to the edge of the Whispering Mist, a foggy expanse that seemed to shift and change. The compass directed her to a hidden path, but the mists whispered doubts and fears. Lyra focused on her inner strength and recalled her grandmother's teachings about bravery. By following her heart and trusting the compass, she navigated through the mist and reached the entrance to the Caves of Echoes. Inside the caves, the second trial awaited, a vast chasm with a bridge of shimmering light. The bridge was fragile and would only support those who could prove their wisdom. A voice echoed from the darkness, presenting Lyra with a riddle. "What can fill a room but takes up no space, and can be given away but never taken?" Lyra thought carefully and answered, "Light." The bridge solidified, allowing her to cross safely. At the end of the bridge, Lyra encountered the final trial, the guardian of the crystal, a majestic phoenix with fiery feathers. The phoenix challenged Lyra to demonstrate her heart's true intentions. Lyra spoke of her love for her village, her desire to restore the Twilight Tree's light, and her hope for a brighter future for all. Moved by Lyra's sincerity, the phoenix allowed her to retrieve the ancient crystal. Lyra carefully placed the crystal in a protective pouch and made her way back to the Twilight Tree. Upon returning, Aemon helped her place the crystal back into its rightful place within the tree's roots. The Twilight Tree began to glow with renewed brilliance, its light spreading across the kingdom. The fading colors were restored, and the kingdom of Everglow was once again bathed in its magical twilight. The villagers of Lumine celebrated Lyra's bravery and her role in saving their home. The Twilight Tree's light now shone brighter than ever, and the kingdom prospered under its gentle glow. Lyra returned to her home, knowing that she had fulfilled a great purpose. the Twilight Tree stood as a symbol of hope and balance, its magic forever intertwined with the courage and kindness of a young girl who dared to embark on a quest to save her world. And so, in the kingdom of Everglow, where the twilight was eternal and the magic of the Twilight Tree thrived, Lyra and her people lived happily ever after, guided by the enduring light of their beloved tree.